Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be working on the RX8 again. Cheap thrill. Let's see, right here I have a not a CD player, media player. I still call it a CD player. Anyways, and we have the adapter to that. So we're going to install this. You all asked for it, so I'm going to video it. I wasn't originally going to, but I will this time. And then we're going to make a custom dash kit for it also. So it should turn out pretty good. Stay tuned. It's going to be awesome. The CD player was $40. And then that plug was $5. And then I'm making the dash kit for free. Budget. So the first thing that I did was pull out the old broken radio. And I'm going to go ahead and check just to make sure that this plugs in to this. Alright, so this plug fits, and now it's time to wire it up. I just wanted to make sure, double check and wire this up before I wire it up, or hook this up before I wire it up, so I know if I'm wasting my time or not. Okay, anyways, it fits, so now let's go ahead and wire it up. Okay guys, so this is all you're going to need to do it the absolute budget way. This is the radio that I bought. It is actually not a CD player, and I thought it was, but I didn't look at it when I bought it. I did buy this secondhand, so it was $40 rather than $70 or $80, but it's still just like new, so you can't really beat that. Got this plug. It was, I think, $5.97 or something, $6. Some electrical tape, and then the plug that goes on the back of the radio. All you want to do is take the ones from the back of the radio, color match all of these to it, and then you're going to have some leftover ones, and then this black is your ground wire. So the black will have to be grounded separately on a piece of metal inside of the dash, most likely. Well, no, it actually looks like we do have a black on this one, so we'll just hook that up and don't have to worry about it. This white and blue wire, this is your remote wire. If you want to wire up a system, this is your time to do it. This turns on your amp. Then we got a power wire, and let's see, I believe this is your constant, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I'm not a professional at wiring at all, in any way, shape, or form. And these are basically all your speakers, and that's it. So ground, power wires, one's constant, remote wire, left or right speaker, front or rear, whatever. You get the idea. So let's go ahead and wire this up. All you're going to need is a utility knife and some electrical tape. So there we go. Just double check just to make sure. Black and green, purple and black, gray, white, etc. Now I'm not going to put a system in this car, so I'm not worried about the blue wires. This blue wire does not have a match on this connection, so this is extra. And now I'm going to tape these up just like this and make them look as clean as possible, and no way of coming undone. There we go. Much cleaner. Your OCD can be put to rest. So I will make this clear. This is not the correct way to do this. Do not I would not, well, I won't say do not do this. I've done this many times and it's worked just fine successfully. But the ideal way to do this is get heat shrink and a soldering gun. Solder them and then heat shrink over it, and then after you get done with that, you wrap them up just like this. Or there's another way. You can use butt connectors. Put them in to the connector and you crimp it, and then you can tape it like this again. You don't even have to tape it, but you should probably tape it so you don't just have wires hanging all out. And honestly, I should have checked this before I actually wrapped it up in the electrical tape, but I'm pretty confident that it's gonna work. So this goes here and this goes into the car. So this should now turn on, and then we can get on to the custom dash kit. Sorry for the vacuum in the background, but so now we plug this right in. I hope you can hear me. And then plug this right in. And then there is an antenna wire in here for your radio, but we don't need that right at this very moment. I just need to see if it turns on and works properly. It's on. Set up the time. It's 3:24. Okay, now it's working. So what I've done here is cut out some sheet metal, and then I took the face of this radio and turned it over and traced it. So it's gonna be a little bit different from that because we need this to fit instead. So I'm gonna go ahead and center this, trace it out, and then cut everything out, and then go from there. Update on the dash kit. It looks pretty awesome. I got that little curve in it too now. I made it fit like perfect. I know this up here is not exactly perfect, but it's going to be close enough for this build. This line down here is perfect. Now I just know how to cut out the part for the CD player and then the air controls, figure out how to mount those, and then build a little box for the back of the CD player. And then that will be done. So I've got that cut out, and basically I've just cut it out enough for this to fit in there snugly. And then once we put it in, you know, open up those tabs and everything so it stays in the right place. Now it's time to drill these 3 holes. So here's what I've come up with. Looks pretty good. This is held on by these 2 screws, the same exact screws that were drilled into the radio whenever I got it. And I like it. It's not absolutely perfect, but I definitely want to leave it rusty. I like the look. I think it'll match the car. Alright guys, here it is done, and honestly I don't think it could have turned out any better for what I'm going for with this car. I purposely you know, made sure that it wasn't absolutely perfect. Now I did actually mess up on these holes and had to drill bigger holes, and doing that with a hole saw is impossible just about without a pilot hole. So a trick that I used for that was to drill another pilot hole through a piece of sheet metal and then wood under that, clamp them both together, centered perfectly, and then it worked pretty good. But as you can see, it did take off some of the patina off of there. But got the sheet metal dash, got the breaker bar shifter, and now we've got a new CD player, or well, not even a CD player, but and a new custom dash kit. And I love the rust on it. I'm not painting it. I really like how that turned out. And green wood screws, of course. That's freaking awesome. So now what I'm going to do is take off this wheel and, or well, jack the car up, take off the wheel, and then take out the two bottom spark plugs. And I'm going to take some Marvel Mystery Oil and put a couple drops on the inside, and then while the spark plugs are out, crank the engine, you know, spin the engine, and then do it again, and then one more time. Then I'm going to let the car sit for a couple hours. Actually, it'd be best to let it sit for about 24 to 48 hours, even a week, honestly. But this stuff, if you have never used it, works magic. With compression issues. Also, it provides lubrication, which I ordered the premix for this car, the Indenitsu Racing premix. So I haven't got that yet, so I'm going to do this for now. Also, it's going to clean the engine, clean some carbon buildup, and just overall help the car for $3.88. I put a little bit in the fuel also, 4 ounces for 10 gallons, and it should help the car quite a bit. So the main reason I'm doing this is for lubrication, but I want to make sure that those rotor housings are coated very, very well. And I don't have low compression. I don't think the car's actually running really good now, but that's just going to be a plus. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So here's the bottle of Magic. I'm just going to take this straw because I don't have a dripper, and I want to pull off, do that. Ah, shit. Let me try it again. And then you can kind of see how much is in there. It's about 75% full. And then put it into the engine. Oh, fuck. Alright, that didn't fucking work. It's just all over my hand instead. Let me try it differently. Back with a dripper. So I want to put 2 of these full in each rotor housing, and that's going to be 3 separate times, because we're going to try to get it on all 3 of the faces, or all 3 Doritos, angles of the Doritos, whatever. That's 2 in each one. Now I'm going to turn the engine over and then do it again. Repeat twice. So 3 times total. Alright, I've done it 3 times, and now I'm just going to put the spark plugs back in just like normal. If you have a regular piston driven engine, don't do this. You can put it in there, but you also have to take it back out after it sits in there. Say if you did this with a piston engine, you can put it in there and let it soak. No problem. Turn it over with no spark plugs in it. No problem. I personally would not do this the same way on a piston engine though. You have to get all of it, or the majority of it at least, back out. Whether that's just sucking it out with something like a dripper or whatever, or if it's just cranking the engine over till it all just pushes out. But with the rotary, people premix these cars. They pour two-stroke oil into the gas, and that lubricates them on the inside on the rotor housing. But definitely look up, do your own research. I can just say I don't recommend this. Okay, I don't recommend this. And make sure you do your own research and all that stuff before you try it yourself. But it's worked wonders for me, and I like it. It's been around forever also, so it's a good product. Here's a cat. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you like what I'm doing here, share it with your friends, whatever. With this oil in the engine situation, I'm going to let it sit for, well, at least till tomorrow, maybe even longer, depending on if I need to move this car or not. But yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. Thanks.
I didn't
you ruined my
say
concentration.
anything. I just stood here.
Okay, anyways, clutch video coming soon.